I hope I have no technical difficulties today. Hope you guys are doing well. If you guys can let me know in the chat if you can hear and see me. I am just live over on YouTube. Hold on, it says it's waiting for me. Oh, there we go. All right, can you guys hear me? And I've been having issues with this um, streaming platform that I've been using. So I just went live from YouTube today, and I haven't done that in a while, so it took me a minute to figure that out. But welcome in, guys. I appreciate you guys being here for another Monday Midday Cruise Q&A. I am RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and I go live on Mondays whenever I'm not cruising, to answer some of your cruise questions. I have been on 73 cruises, preparing to board cruise number 74 and cruise number 75 this week. So stay tuned for that. But pretty much cruise most of the major cruise lines, been all over the place. And so I like to go live to answer questions that I get either from cruise clients. I am the owner of Major Adventures Travel Agency, but I get a lot of questions from either cruise clients or subscribers or viewers or supporters. And so it's sometimes challenging for me to answer all of the questions that I receive because I do have to prioritize my clients. So I just kind of open it up for you to ask any cruise related question that you may have. Now, periodically, I will do a content creator slash travel agent edition. This one is strictly cruising. So if you have questions about cruising, feel free to start dropping those in the chat. But welcome in, everyone. I'm guessing, yes, you guys can hear me. Thank you, Adrian. Thanks for letting me know that. Uh, Welcome in, Travels at PNB, first one in. And I can't pop the chat onto the screen like I normally do because I'm on YouTube, but welcome in, Travels at PNB. Keisha H, welcome in to you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see here. Ella McKinley, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Happy Monday to you, and thank you so much for being a channel member. Keisha H, I already talked to you, but welcome back in, Keisha H. You speaking to everyone. Francis Harvey, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a channel member. Adrian, thanks for letting me know that you can hear me. Hope your Monday is going well. Gwen says, how was your birthday? Thank you so much, Gwen. My birthday was yesterday. Very, very chill day. Didn't do much of anything. So yeah, went to church, went to an Indian restaurant for lunch. The kids made chicken and salad for dinner. Very low key day. Didn't do much of anything. So yeah, I kind of enjoy those types of days. But thank you so much. Cassandra McCoy, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being a channel member. Let's see here. Let's see. Uh, Denisha, welcome in. Says, hope you had a wonderful birthday. I did. Thank you so much for being here. Savvy Voyages, welcome in, and thank you so much. Drea, welcome in, and thank you for being a channel member. First question, guys, feel free to start dropping those cruise questions in the chat. I am only going to stay live today for an hour because I am preparing, like I said, to travel this week. I have 2 back-to-back cruises, actually 3. So very busy trying to get things packed and situated, plus work with clients and everything else. So it's a really, really busy time. So I honestly almost canceled this because I was like, oh gosh, I have so much to do. But I wanted to be here to answer your questions. So I really do appreciate you guys being here. But I will have to stop at an hour. But after that hour, if you guys go back to YouTube, I do have a video that will be released at 3:30. So stay tuned for that. Francis says, do you think Royal Paradise Nassau will open on time in December? It's scheduled to open in December. I think it's going to be like any other island destination that's under construction, where it may not look like you want it to look, or like the proofs look whenever you're looking online at what it may look like. It's going to take time for it to get to that level, but I do think it's going to open in December. It just may not, kind of like Celebration Key. If you guys have been seeing some of the videos and posts about Celebration Key, which is Carnival's private destination in Grand Bahamas, it doesn't quite look like the images that you might see. But it takes time to kind of build that up. But I do think it's going to open in December. And in fact, they just released those passes. So yeah, check those out if you are booked on Royal. Sapphire, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. And welcome into the 55 people watching. I appreciate you guys being here. And I do apologize if you're usually watching me on Facebook. I could not connect on Facebook. I'm going to try to get that all figured out. But Rhonda Fellows, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being a channel member. Miss D, thank you so much. This is happy birthday. Thank you so much, Francis. I appreciate that. Ginger5, thank you so much. Natasha says, Was on Icon last week and had a blast. Only downside was 2 out of 3 shows were canceled. Yes, they rescheduled, but it conflicted with other plans, so we had to miss them. You're probably talking about the Aqua shows. Possibly the Aqua shows. Yes, sometimes unfortunately they have to cancel certain shows if there's inclement weather, or sometimes it could be that maybe they don't have enough crew or the performers are ill or things happen. So sometimes they do have to cancel. My tip, if you are sailing on like an Oasis class ship that has like the Aqua Theater or even the ice skating shows, would be to, if you can, usually about 30 days before your cruise, you can go onto the Royal Caribbean app and reserve your shows. I always encourage people to reserve the early shows, and you do that because if they do have to cancel, you at least have a backup option. If you are someone that figures, the first couple of days of cruise, I'm going to be busy doing whatever, I want to see the shows later on, there is a really good chance that it could be canceled and then you don't have a backup plan. So I would say do the early shows first. Like if they have one on day 1, day 2, go ahead and reserve those. And if they have to cancel, then hopefully you can get a slot for the next one. But also know that they do have standby lanes. So people sometimes panic when they can't get reservations for some of the shows because a lot of Royal Caribbean shows are by reservation. But they do have a standby line to where like maybe 5 to 10 minutes before the show, they will allow you to just kind of fill in any remaining seats. Leanne Travel, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. And I think your birthday, did you post that your birthday's today or yesterday or the day before mine? But happy belated birthday or happy birthday to you. I think you posted your birthday. Lizzie Johnson says, hello, welcome in. Yeah, thanks so much for being here. Says Aqua and the Wizard of Oz. Oh, yeah. And also, like with Wizard of Oz, because it's, in the theater, I don't know if you had any rocky weather, they won't have the performers go on stage if it's rocky because it's too dangerous, even though it's not like an aqua show. They're not diving from anywhere, but just trying to maintain their balance on stage. If it's rocky at all, they just won't, they won't do that. Sorry, I need to adjust that. But guys, go ahead and drop your questions. It seems like maybe I've been answering a lot of questions. You guys don't have many questions. Feel free to drop those in the chat. Welcome in, Danielle. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a channel member. Travels at P&B says, how far in advance can you reserve shows for Royal? Going on my first Royal in December. It is so inconsistent. It used to be like 60 days before you could do it in the app. Then it was 45, and now they say 30 days before. So I just tell people to start looking at the app 60 days prior. Usually 45 days out is when you do your online check-in. So that would be a good time to go in and make sure you have things reserved if they're available. If they're not available, then check 30 days prior. But it's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes they don't. And not every ship allows you to reserve in advance. So I just keep checking. And then if I don't get a reservation, whenever I get on board the ship, or what I recommend to clients is once you get on board the ship, immediately go onto your app, get on airplane mode. You don't need Wi-Fi to do this. Connect to the ship's Wi-Fi, airplane mode, would have you go on and make those reservations, because also sometimes certain things you won't be able to reserve online. Sometimes like the ice shows may not be available, or it might be things such as roller skating may not be available, or if they do laser tag, things like that. So go right on as soon as you get on the ship and reserve some of those things. Alexis says, you are such an inspiration. I just started my travel business. Well, congratulations to you on starting your travel business. That is awesome. Congratulations to you. Leanne says, congratulations on your Star of the Seas invite. What are you most looking forward to on that new Icon ship pre-sailing? Thank you so much. So if you didn't catch my, and I kind of somewhat announced this, I think in other live streams, and I know our channel members, I announced it too, that received an invite to sail on Star of the Seas, which is Royal Caribbean's newest ship. It is Icon class. I was actually invited last year on Icon as well. But Star of the Seas, they have they have 3 or maybe 4 now showcase sailings, which are open to the public, paid sailings. Then they have a preview cruise on, they just added this one. This one is August 9th through the 12th, I believe, that they opened up for employees of Royal Caribbean and then casino players. And this is kind of like their, what do they call it? It's like where they test everything out on the ship. I forgot what they call it. So then there's going to be a day gap in between as they prepare for the first preview sailing or the inaugural sailing, the one that Diana Ross will be on and the naming ceremony will take place. That is August 13th. So I received an invite for that. So honestly, I am really excited about Diana Ross. So yeah, that's really what I'm excited for. I love, you know, Royal Caribbean's great, but Diana Ross is where it's at for this sailing. So my mission for this sailing is really, truly, if I could just get a picture with Miss Diana Ross, I would be elated. And that's really what I'm looking forward to, honestly. Of course, bringing you guys that content. I will have plenty of Star of the Seas content, but my main mission is to figure out how can I get a picture with Miss Diana Ross. If you guys have not been following, I absolutely love Motown. It's like my favorite genre of music. Know pretty much all Motown. Ever since I was little. My dad was a DJ at some point, but love Motown. Our dog's name is David Ruffin because I love Motown that much. So I'm just really excited. She's going to be performing at the naming ceremony, so really excited for that. But of course, just really checking out this ship. Now, like I said, I was on Icon for the media sailing last year, whenever it was, and had a good time. That ship is just a lot to cover in 3 days. So I'll be very, very busy. I will have my sister Cheryl with me. So we'll be kind of scoping it out together. Let's see. Carolyn Jones says, just coming in, don't know the topic, so I apologize in advance for editing. For editing, what are you using? So for editing purposes, whenever I edit a vlog, I primarily use CapCut. I try to keep it easy and simple. I don't use any like professional, I guess CapCut could be considered professional. I don't use any of the like DaVinci and this and that. I need something just very basic, very easy so that I can get the content out. We do have some inclement weather. We do have some inclement weather. Hold on. Looks like I'm frozen again. All right. Am I back? Oh gosh. Looks like I'm back. Okay. We have some inclement weather going on, so might be the Wi-Fi right now. So apologize for that. It's just something every day it seems like. But yeah, I don't use any of the like DaVinci Resolve, any of those types of things because they're just too complicated. I just need something very basic. And when I first started, I use iMovie, which is on iPhone. It's built into your iPhone. Didn't pay anything extra for it, so try to keep it simple. But welcome into the 87 of you guys watching. I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and this is our Monday Midday Cruise Q&A where I just answer your cruise-related questions. Anything you can think of regarding cruising. I've been on 73 cruises since 2019. I'm the owner of Major Adventures Travel, and I get a lot of questions all the time, either in my inbox or chat or email, and I can't always answer questions because I'm honestly very, very busy. And so I like to go live to answer cruise questions that you may have, any general questions. Periodically, I will do a content creator, travel agent Q&A. This one is cruising, but if you have questions, feel free to drop them regarding any of that. But a shakedown, thank you so much. It's called a shakedown cruise. So yes, so that sailing the August 9th through the 12th is a shakedown sailing. And that's really where they, a lot of the employees for Royal Caribbean and some of the other people that'll be on board, they're kind of tasked with doing certain things on the ship just to make sure things are operating the way they're supposed to. And then the preview media sailing is the 13th. Let's see here. Lizzie says, question, how can I find out when the Jewel of the Seas and Voyager will be back in Florida? Actually, Jewel of the Seas is going to be, I just booked someone literally yesterday on Jewel of the Seas for October. So I don't know when it returns, but I literally just booked somebody on a 3-night cruise, Jewel of the Seas, yesterday for October 10th, I think. So yeah, check to see. Jewel of the Seas should be back. Voyager might already be back. Yeah. Thank you so much, JCity156. That's Shakedown Cruise. Yeah, I couldn't think of that. Natasha says, how exciting. Danielle, is it Danielle? Says, I'm booked on the Star of the Sea Showcase Cruise leaving 8/23. Do you know if you can get free souvenirs like hats or bags on Showcase Cruises? I'll be very honest. I don't think so for this sailing or for this. It more than likely will happen on the media preview sailing, which is the 13th, and possibly on the 16th. Because they added so many. Typically, they only give away like the hats and the inaugural gifts on the first sailing, but because they added so many, I couldn't imagine that they would have them for all of the sailings. And actually, based off the paperwork that I've received for the sailing that I'm going to be on, they're actually calling the 13th through the 16th the inaugural. So I don't know if they're going to have anything even for the 16th, but on my paperwork, it's listing the previous sailing that I'm on as the inaugural, although I think the 16th is. I don't know. They keep just changing things up. So I wouldn't count on there being anything. I can tell you that when I did Utopia of the Seas, I think I was on the second sailing of Utopia of the Seas. They did have hats for us, but I think that was all that we got. And usually that first sailing you get a little bit more, so it's just different. And my sailing honestly is a different type of sailing. So for my sailing, there's no paid passengers. Everyone gets everything. Everything's included. So drinks, Wi-Fi, all of that's included. So it's a little bit different. So we might get things that you may not even get on the inaugural. So I honestly don't know. They just keep changing things up. Natasha says, are pretty much all sailings out of Florida Caribbean? For the most part, yeah. That's the benefit of cruising out of Florida, is that you're going to hit up the Caribbean. For the most part, yeah. I mean, you're not gonna catch a sailing. Now you can do a transatlantic from Florida to like Europe or to Alaska or wherever. You can do a transatlantic, but that's going to be a long cruise with a lot of sea days. But for the most part, if you're cruising out of Florida, it's going to be the Caribbean or Mexico. So um, let's see here. Dre says, has Royal Caribbean resumed sailing to Labadee? If not, any insight what is going on with this port? They kind of keep going back and forth on Labadee. It's still listed as a port for some itineraries, but a lot of times it seems like lately it's being replaced with Perfect Day at Coco Cay. So yeah, I don't have any information on that. They're not going to go if they feel it's unsafe. And honestly, I haven't had a client to go to Labadee in a minute. So I really don't know what's going on, but I have heard that some of the later sailings have been going to Perfect Day at Coco Cay instead, but they are still advertising the Labadee sailings. Let's see here. Travels with PNB says, what will be something they are adding to Star? I don't even know. Diana Ross? I don't know. I don't think that, I haven't heard that there's going to be anything different on Star than Icon. It's just slightly bigger. So, and I could be missing that, but nothing stands out to me that's different than Icon that I can think of off the top of my head. But that's a good question. I'll have to research that after I get off of this, because I don't know. I don't think that there's anything different. But let me know if you guys know anything. J City 156, will you be sailing the inaugural or future Star cruises? I'm sailing on the media preview sailing, which is August 13th. I'm not booked on any other Star sailings currently. Let's see here. J City says, I'm booked on August 23rd on Star and was wondering about merch as well. I honestly wouldn't count on it. I just wouldn't count on it. Is that Bring Centennial says, have you been to the ABC Islands? If so, do you recommend? I've been to Aruba and Curacao and absolutely recommend. I have not gone to Bonaire yet. I'm really excited to try Bonaire because I hear that they have amazing snorkeling, or drift snorkeling they call it, where you can just get out there. You don't have to do a lot of swimming. You just kind of drift with the current and snorkel. So I would love to do that, but absolutely recommend Aruba and Curacao. If I had to pick one or two between Aruba and Curacao, I'm going to choose Curacao. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Rhonda says, I'm excited to be on the 16th. Nice, nice. Team Milton, welcome in, and welcome into the 67 people watching. Appreciate you guys being here. Says, which cruise line is best to use to reach the Dominican Republic? Think about that location for our next cruise in 2026 or 2027. If you're trying to go to the Dominican Republic, there's a lot of cruise lines that go there. They're pretty much going to go to Amber Cove. So like Carnival will go to Amber Cove. So you have Amber Cove and Puerto Plata. So pretty much all cruise lines go there. What I would personally recommend is to catch a cruise out of the Dominican Republic. If you do a cruise out of the Dominican Republic, which you can do on MSC Cruises, you can do on Costa Cruises, which is a cruise line I'm going to talk about later this year. And there's some others that are seasonal, like if you're cruising like that November through February, where you can hit up some of the Caribbean ports that you may not get to leaving from Florida. So if you leave out Dominican Republic, you can possibly get to some of the other Caribbean ports that aren't like Nassau or Ocho Rios, or you get what I'm saying? So which cruise line is best depends on your style of cruising, but you could definitely get there to Dominican Republic off of Carnival, Royal, Princess. I mean, they all go there, but if you really truly want to experience Dominican Republic, I would recommend flying there, catching a cruise, spend a day or two there and then catch a cruise. And then you're probably going to get some stops or at least one stop in Dominican Republic as well. Says, how was the MSC Divina? MSC Divina, that was my first MSC cruise. And I personally didn't really have an issue with it. I did have an issue. If you watch that vlog, there was an issue with the show that I saw. I wasn't a fan of the show. And I can't remember all the details as to why, but it just didn't give me a good vibe. But other than that, MSC Divina, I had no complaints. It was my first MSC ship and my first solo cruise. Welcome in, M. Stewart. Appreciate you being here. And we have 76 people watching and only 35 likes. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me, I greatly appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We have we're on the road to 50K. We're about to hit probably 33 today, 33,000. So the goal is to get another 17,000 by the end of the year. We have some trips coming up. We have 12 more cruises this year. So stay tuned for that. Tammy says, congratulations on your invitation to the Star with Miss Diane Ross. Thank you so much. Rhonda Head says, my husband and I love your channel. We're grateful for your Port Canaveral recommendation of cruise control, doing a Royal Caribbean Alaskan cruise out of Seattle. What transportation do you recommend to Seaport? I would recommend Seattle Express. It's going to be cheaper than doing like your Royal Caribbean transfer. The airport is about a 40-minute ride from the airport. The cruise port is about a 40-minute ride, depending on which cruise terminal. So I would recommend Seattle Express. They are currently $25 per person each way, or maybe it's $30 now. But they're around $25 to $30 per person. A lot cheaper than an Uber, because we priced out an Uber when we were there. And the Uber for our family was going to be like $140. Crazy. So, if you do $20, $25, then, you can save a little bit. And then check with your hotel, because there are some hotels like if you're staying near the Seattle airport area, some of the hotels will give you a discount. So the hotel we were at, so we were actually booked with Seattle Express, paying $25 per person. When we checked in for the hotel, or a few days before the hotel, because we had a group with us, they said, hey, do you have transfers? We have transfers for $20. And so they said, oh yeah, we use Seattle Express, but we get a discount. So we cancel our, $5 per person. That's a good saving. So we canceled Seattle Express, booked it with our hotel, and it was still Seattle Express. So check with your hotel to see what they may offer, because they may already partner with Seattle Express, and you might be able to get a discount booking directly with them. But thank you so much for you and your husband for watching. I appreciate it. Bring Centennial says, I did a 15-day transatlantic from New York City to Rome with Norwegian Epic. Would definitely do another. Nice. I'm not a fan. I've never done a transatlantic. I just don't think it's my thing, because I personally like the ports. So doing a transatlantic and having all those sea days is just not my thing. I'd rather just go to Rome and catch a cruise from there. But one day I'll try it once the kids are older and, what have you. Natasha says, Cozumel Cenote, an underwater cave excursion, was the best in case anyone is looking for something there. That's something I have not done yet. I have not visited Cenote. I've been wanting to, but every time I go to Cozumel, I have like Joe Marie's with me, and she's afraid of jumping in the water, or afraid to be, in water like that. So I do hope to visit a cenote soon. J City says, Star has additional hot tub, new food stations, an Aquadome Market, and Lincoln Park in place of Empire. Thank you for that information, because I booked so many cruises, and I've cruised so many times, I cannot keep track of what's going on with each ship, like to that detail, but I appreciate you letting me know, J City. Savvy Voyages, says Supper Club, changes to the Surfside family area, pig out barbecue to the Aquadome Market. Nice. Subtle changes to venues, but for the most part, it'll be the same. Thank you for that. You said barbecue, and I was like, there's not many barbecue spots on ships, but guys, let me tell you a good barbecue spot. Disney Wish. They have the Mickey Smokehouse, I think it's what it's called. It might be better than some of the barbecue that I've had on land. Not our personal barbecue, but barbecue that I've eaten out. Really, really good. That was probably the best thing I had on Disney Wish, was Mickey Smokehouse. It is not comparable at all to Carnival's, what is it called? Pig and Anchor? No, this is really good. And it's complimentary. Let's see here. Welcome in, Dennis. Appreciate you being here. Says thank you for recommending Cruise Control. We just got back from Utopia this season. We got the 10% discount by mentioning MHFam. Thank you so much. Yeah, they have some excellent service. We absolutely love Corey and his team. Thank you so much for using them. Desiree, and hope you had a great time on Utopia. Desiree says hello, everyone. Welcome in, Desiree. Kim Davis, welcome in, says I'm late, but I'm here. So glad I remembered. Yeah, it almost got canceled though, because I'm just like super busy right now. But I appreciate you being here. Let's see here. Kim Nation said, did you see a moose in Canada or Alaska? No, we were looking, and our driver, actually the next vlog that's coming out at 3:30 today is our Skagway vlog. And our bus driver was trying to find one, and he said there were plenty of them during our visit. We just didn't spot one, but I would have loved to. Let's see. Leanne says any savings is good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kim Davis says, I'm seriously considering MSC for next year. Can you share what you know about the loyalty status match? What exactly do they match? So, MSC, and yeah, if you're looking to book MSC, feel free to reach out to me. I am a top sales agent for MSC Cruises. They're actually probably my number one supplier at this point. But MSC, they do the status match, and it's pretty much comparing your status to other cruise lines and certain hotel brands. And so if you are mid-level, and I tell people, because they do a one-time status match. So let's say if you're close to platinum with Carnival, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing the status match when you're gold Carnival, because you're going to be silver MSC. If you wait till you're platinum, you're going to get more perks. So because then you would be diamond for MSC. So you have to kind of be strategic in how you do it, depending on if you think you're going to ever cruise with MSC again. So that's also that. But so yeah, so they just look to see, there's an application on the website. If you just Google MSC status match application, there's a quick link. They're just going to ask for a copy of your loyalty status with the other cruise line or hotel. And then they'll just match it up. They'll give you a Voyagers Club number. You apply it to your booking. Now for your first sailing with MSC, so there's certain perks that you don't get until your second sailing. So one of the best perks that MSC offers is $50 onboard credit if you book a year in advance. So every time I book MSC Cruise, I try to book it a year out, because I'm going to automatically get $50 of onboard credit. And that's for everyone that has a status match. So like if me and my husband are in the same cabin and we are cruising MSC, they will give us both $50 onboard credit. That is an awesome perk. We're also diamond with MSC. They have diamond, and then they added a status, the diamond blue. But you'll get perks such as, my favorite would be, you get one specialty dining. Not if you're, so let's say you're platinum with Carnival. This is what you're going to get. You're going to be diamond with MSC. You're going to get things such as a free bottle of champagne in your cabin, some macaroons in your cabin, some other sort of cabin treat. You get one specialty dining for 2 people. So you can take one person with you and you're completely free. You have to schedule that once you get on board the ship. You'll get the $50 onboard credit if you book in advance. You get a 1-hour thermal spa pass for the spa. And if you get a good person at the spa, sometimes they'll let you use multiple. So that's a little tip there. But then you get like discounts in the shops. You get, sometimes you'll get discounts or coupon codes emailed to you. So things like that. But I feel like MSC has some of the better perks, because you're not like Carnival, for instance. Like I'm just probably a few cruises away, a few 7-night cruises away from becoming diamond, and I'm not in a rush to do it before they make the status change. But like for instance, with diamond on Carnival, specialty dining, you get a one-time free specialty dining once you're diamond. One time, like one use, not every cruise, a one-time use. Whereas MSC, every time you cruise with them, once you're diamond or diamond blue, then you get specialty dining for 2 people every time you cruise. So I just feel like they have a better value with that. So yeah, but you can Google MSC status match conversion chart. Now it hasn't been updated since 2021, but it still gives you an idea. I think it's still accurate. It'll give you an idea of if your status is this with Royal Caribbean, this is what your status will be for MSC. And then go to MSCVoyagersClub.com, and then you can see the different statuses, so you can see what those perks are. But I feel like their perks are probably some of the best out there. Royal has really good perks too if you're high status where you get the drinks and things included, so that's nice too. Um, how was the food on MSC? Honestly, I'm very honest about when I talk about the food at MSC, and if you catch any of our vlogs, I talk about it. So I've been cruising MSC now for 4 years, and when I first sailed MSC, I was not a fan of the food. Um, Out of all the cruise lines, it was my least favorite because the food was just bland. It was just very basic stuff. MSC has taken a lot of feedback over the last few years, and they have made lots of improvements to the food. I would say the last 2 years, the food has greatly improved with MSC. You have to keep in mind that MSC is a European-based cruise line, and so the food style, the food that they had was a little bit different than what we're used to if you are from the U.S. or if you're American. And so over time, they have taken a lot of feedback and they've greatly improved their menu. The biggest issue that people have with MSC is that if you aren't cruising like MSC World America, which is their newest best ship, which I absolutely love MSC World America. We have a group cruise for Christmas. So really excited to get back on MSC World America. But if you're not cruising MSC World America or their other ship that's in Europe right now, MSC World Europa, which we have a Sisters Cruising Abroad cruise next June on that ship. If you're not selling at one of those two, you're pretty much getting the buffet in the main dining room for food options. They don't have complimentary other options like other cruise lines. So like on Carnival, you would have Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana, Royal Caribbean, you have a couple spots you can dine at. MSC doesn't have that across most of their ships. So that's what I kind of caution people on. If you're used to, having other options other than going to the buffet or dining room, you're not getting that on MSC. So for me, that is the biggest complaint with MSC's food. I feel like they need to add more complimentary options across all of their ships. MSC World America does have some complimentary options that you're not going to find on any other ship, and I think it's a wonderful thing that they did for that ship. But overall, the food for me is good. I will honestly say that there are certain things on MSC that I would even rank above Carnival and Royal. One thing being their pizza. Their pizza is the best pizza at sea. Some of their main dining room menu items I feel kind of rank higher than Carnival and Royal at times. So, but taste and food, that's very subjective. So I'm telling you that I think it's pretty good. If you look at reviews for MSC, you will see that probably 4 or 5 years ago they had terrible reviews about food, and now it's kind of turned. So people are really seeing, okay, they have improved their food. Now, where I think they haven't improved their food is if you're cruising abroad. Not really Europe. The food we had in Europe was pretty good. It was just kind of repetitive. But like if you're cruising, I cruised recently out of Brazil. That food was not good. So, and I didn't vlog much of that because I was really trying to vlog the actual cruise ship and then the ports. Because I did a land and sea series for that. That food was totally different then. So if you cruise abroad, MSC might be different. But yeah, I say give them a try. Let's see here. Tammy says, I was able to cancel my pre-purchase drink and specialty restaurant package on the Meraviglia. I'm still waiting to find out if my bid on Yacht Club will be a win. I think you messaged me about that. That sounds familiar. Oh, yeah. Thank you for the advice. Yes. Okay. I'm glad that worked out. Hopefully it works out. So what Tammy is referring to is she's booked on MSC Meraviglia, and this is something you need to know if you're cruising with MSC, because MSC does have a bid program where you can upgrade into a higher cabin. And so Tammy was booked, and she already had specialty dining and drink package purchased, not included with her promotion, but just purchased. And she wanted to bid for the Yacht Club. Yacht Club includes your drink package. If you purchase a drink package before you bid, let's say MSC upgrade you, and they say yes, you're upgraded to Yacht Club, they will not refund you, which is one of the quirks. They will not refund you the drink package. And it tells you this whenever you do the upgrade. It says if you're upgrading to Yacht Club, any pre-purchases cannot be refunded, even if it's already included with your upgrade. So you're better off if you are going to upgrade for a Yacht Club cabin. If you've already pre-purchased your drink package, I would recommend canceling it off, see if you get an upgrade. And if you get the upgrade, you don't have to add it back on. But also consider if you had a coupon code for your drink package, because right now MSC is offering some discounts on their drink packages. So just a little tip there. But welcome into the 96 of you guys watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see, more questions. Natasha says, we tried Chops on Icon for lunch and we're not impressed. We even preferred main dining room over it. Yeah, I'm not a Chops fan. Honestly, I'll be very honest. When I look at Royal Caribbean specialty dining, Zumi Sushi, that's probably my favorite thing. I'm not a fan of Jamie's Italian at all. Um, and then they have Giovanni's Table. I'm not a fan of that either. Chops is really hit or miss. It's really hit or miss. I feel like Carnival Steakhouse is better than Chops. What else? What other specialty? They had the taco restaurant. What was it called? I think they did away with it. Sabors. Sabors is really good. Um, but yeah, for me, it's probably Izumi Sushi. Oh, actually, I was just on Ovation of the Seas and I had Wonderland. It wasn't terrible. I don't know if now it was free, so I didn't have to pay for it. I don't know if I would pay for it, but I would dine there again if it was given to me. But I mean, it was good. It just wasn't like over the top for me. Welcome to Team Race. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for popping in and thank you so much for being a channel member. Net48P, thank you so much for being a channel member. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Leanne says, good tip because I matched really lost. I don't know higher status. I should have waited. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and yeah, because I have some clients that are like, oh, I'm like one cruise away from platinum, but I have this MSC cruise. And I said, well, do you think you'll ever cruise MSC again? If you don't think you're going to cruise MSC again, then go ahead. I almost guarantee you that once you see the value that MSC offers, you're probably going to want to book another MSC cruise. And that's just, honestly, that is what is happening. Like I said, I think at this point, MSC is my highest supplier for my agency. It's just because people are cruising them one time, they're getting one of those really cheap deals, and like, hey, this is not as bad as people make it out to be. They book again, or they're booking World America. So yeah, so if you're looking to book MSC cruises, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you. Let's see here. How's the food on MSC compared to Celebrity? No comparison. Celebrity's food is hands down way better than MSC, and Celebrity's food is way better than Carnival and Royal for the most part. Remember, Celebrity is a premium cruise line, so you're going to get premium food products. You're going to get premium drinks. It's going to be a little bit. It's a different tier. So you have MSC Carnival, Royal Caribbean, kind of lower tier, and then you have the premium lines like Princess Holland America, Celebrity, that. And then you have luxury, or you have mid luxury, then luxury. So there's really no comparison there. Let's see here. Dennis said, when I status match with MSC, they made me gold, and I've been platinum on Carnival for a while now. Should I check with them to see if that's a mistake? You might want to, because last time I checked, if you were platinum with Carnival, you should be diamond. Let me double check real quick. Hold on. Let me double check. I have a chart right here. Because I could totally be just stalking. And that happens sometimes. I'm pretty sure though it's platinum. Let's see here. And that is one thing with MSC. I will be very honest, and this is probably why you should use a travel advisor when you're booking with MSC. Their back end office is horrible. Horrible. If you're a travel advisor, you know what I'm talking about. So it's like our job to really, advocate for our clients. All right, so Carnival, there we go. So so Carnival Platinum. Hold on. Nope, I'm incorrect. I'm sorry. It is correct. It's gold. If you're Carnival Platinum, you are gold. Maybe when I did it, because I was gold when I status matched, and I am diamond. I've sailed more I've sailed more MSC as well, but I status matched. No, I'm sorry. I status matched when I was platinum, and when I status matched platinum, it made me diamond MSC, and I'm like one cruise away from diamond blue. So yeah. So if you're Carnival platinum, you're going to be gold. If you're gold, you're going to be silver. And then, but gold for MSC is still going to get you some nice perks. And then Royal Caribbean, if you are Pinnacle, then you're diamond. And then if you are Emerald, Diamond, or Diamond Plus, then you're gold. So there's a conversion chart online that you can take a look at. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, audio is cutting in and out. Can you guys hear me okay? Daphne, welcome in. This is exactly what happened to me. I loved MSC World America. Oh yeah, I saw your vlog. So yeah, Leanne loved Messy World America, and I'm guessing you booked another one. Have you ever been to Bermuda? Would you recommend? I've been to Bermuda once. I would recommend, and I want to go back again. I was just on a sailing. I don't remember where. Oh, it was Carnival Venecia, and it had a stop in Bermuda. Absolutely loved it, and I wished I was on one of the itineraries that had 2 or 3 day stops, because there are some itineraries where you can be overnight in Bermuda. So I absolutely loved it. It was a little cool when I went, so we couldn't get in the water or anything, but it was really nice. Since I saw MSC World Europa in Naples on my transatlantic gorgeous ship, it is. And MSC World Europa is the sister to MSC MSC World America. So I'm excited to be on MSC World Europa next year. We have a group of, I think right now, of about 40 ladies joining us on our sisters cruise next year. Leanne says Celebrity Edge is the best food I've ever had on a cruise line. However, my best lobster base on all the cruise lines was on MSC Meraviglia. Well, I know it wasn't on MSC World America because I remember that. I remember that itty bitty lobster you got. But trying to think, have I had lobster on MSC? I honestly can't remember. But yeah, Celebrity Edge class. Yeah, their food is amazing. Now, for me, I'm going to say the best food that I've ever had is on the luxury cruise I was on Explorer Journeys. You're welcome, Dennis. So there's a bit of static. Okay. All right. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Hold on. Maybe I'll disconnect my mic and see what happens. Give me 1 second. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Can you hear me without my mic? Let me turn my volume up so I can see. Can you hear me without my mic? Testing. Oh, okay. Looks like you can hear me. Maybe you can hear me. Much better. It's this mic, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. And I spent good money on this DJI mic. I'm not a fan of it. I've had issues with it. All right, guys, we have 91 watching. I have about 15 more minutes. If you have any other cruise questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. And I guess since we don't have many cruise questions today, I feel like I get a lot of cruise questions from people watching on Facebook because I can hear you but still hearing static. Huh. Static again? That's so weird. All right, let me try. Hold on. I don't know why it's static. All right, can you guys hear me? Static still. That is so weird. Never had that happen. My mic is off. All right. Well, that might be my sign to end it early. Hold on. Let me try one other thing. I don't know what that is. Give me 1 second. I'm going to turn my camera real quick. Hold on. Let me disconnect my Bluetooth. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's try that. I disconnected my Bluetooth. I don't know if it's maybe interfering with something else. I feel like I've just been having some bad luck with this tech stuff. Okay, there we go. Something with the Bluetooth, I guess. Okay. You know what I think it might be? We just got like a Wi-Fi extender. And I've been having issues since I got that Wi-Fi extender. It might be doing something because so Andrew now has his own apartment in the basement. So him and Ron traded places. So Andrew's room upstairs is now Ron's office. And so we had to get an extender because he wasn't able to get good reception. I think that might be messing up my signal. But thank you guys so much for letting me know that. But let me go back up here. Natasha says, can just one, oh, where's my mouse? Okay. Says, can just one of 2 adults get alcohol drink package if other gets non-alcoholic package? My husband doesn't drink. For the most part, no. Royal Caribbean, if you call them, if you're cruising on Royal Caribbean, if you call Royal Caribbean, depending on who you talk to, they will allow you to purchase it over the phone. You can't do it on the ship, but you can do it over the phone to where you can get one drink package, one of the refreshment packages or whatever, um, whatever the refreshment package, I think is what it's called. You can do that over the phone. I've had some clients have success with that. Carnival, for the most part, will not allow it. It's kind of hit or miss. I've had a couple of clients to take like a doctor's note and get on the ship and talk to guest services, and they would allow them to do it, but it's real, they're not supposed to. And honestly, the thought process is like drinking is not necessarily it's not required. And so they're saying if you both can't get it, then you can just pay a la carte. So yeah, for the most part, pretty much all cruise lines, you have to, all the adults in the same cabin must get the drink package. But there are some times where you can make an exception, more so for medical reasons. With Royals tends to be more flexible, but they do require that the second passenger get the refreshment or whatever the lower tier package is. Let's see. I'm just scrolling to make sure. Team Marie says, our Wi-Fi extender jacked up a whole house full of electronics. That might be what it is. That might be what it is. Should we book our next RCL cruise while on an RCL cruise, or should we just book during a deal? I would say book while you're on board for this reason, especially if you're doing a 7-night cruise. So you book on board, you can get some instant savings. Now they used to give onboard credit. They stopped doing that. So you just go to the next cruise desk, or even in your app, you can go ahead and book your next cruise or book your deposit, pay your deposit for your next cruise. The benefit of doing that is that if you're looking to do like a 7-night cruise, like my last Royal Caribbean cruise, I bought, what is it called? Next cruise certificates, because as a family of 5, for us to do a 7-night cruise with Royal, it's $250 per person. And not that we couldn't just pay that, but I personally don't like to put that kind of money out when I don't have to. If I'm booking 2 years out, I don't want to put down that kind of money. So you can pay a lower deposit of for at least the first 2 guests in each cabin of $100 per person, regardless of the length of sailing. So I would say do it for that reason, but you also get dollars off. Now, the trick to getting the dollars off is they don't always automatically apply it. So sometimes they'll say, like, if you book an interior ocean view, 3 to 5 night sailing, you're going to get $50 off. They don't automatically do that when you make your booking. So you have to make sure you call in and say, hey, did I get my $50 off? And now it's like you have to do it within 30 days of getting your deposit or your next cruise certificate, or you don't get the savings. So I say yes. And if you're working with a travel advisor, they will automatically notify your travel advisor that you booked on board. And so they'll still get credit for your booking if you booked on board. So that's not a problem. But I would say, yeah, do that. And you don't have to wait for a deal, because you can always have your pricing adjusted. So let's say you get a next cruise certificate and you're booking a year out. You could get that to save paying a high deposit, plus get $50 to $150 off, or whatever it might be, off your cruise. And then let's say a promotion comes out that's better, you can have your price adjusted up until your final payment. So there's no reason to ever wait on a deal. Just monitor your pricing to see that you have the best deal when new promotions come out. So, and working with a travel advisor, sometimes we have better deals. A lot of times with Royal Caribbean, especially cabins for 2. In fact, I just booked someone this morning on board Symphony of the Seas next October, and my pricing was $600 less than what they had online. So sometimes we just have better pricing because we have group rates that we can pull out of that you're not going to find online or by calling. So you could even apply your next cruise certificate for that. So yeah. Welcome in, Phil and D's Travel Spree. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being channel members. Hope you're doing well. J City says RCCL and Celebrity, you can call it Celebrity. Yes, Celebrity as well. He's referring to if you are trying to avoid paying drink package for 2 people, you can call and they'll allow it, but you still have to get that refreshment package for the second person. Welcome in, Miss Jerry. Appreciate you being here. Says glad I caught you live. I'm glad you're able to join in. Welcome in, Red Afro. Says hello, MHFam in chat. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. Have you used a Royal Caribbean gift certificate towards a cruise? Was it an easy process? I don't recommend using gift certificates. So what you're referring to, not the next cruise certificate. If you ever buy a gift card for Royal Caribbean online, they're going to issue it to you. For instance, if you do it through not Royal Caribbean's website, but some people will go to like PayPal like PayPal gift cards, because I've had clients do this and it kind of throws things off. If you purchase a gift card outside of Royal Caribbean's website, which I don't even know if they still sell gift cards on the website, but if you buy a gift card, they're going to issue it as a gift certificate. They are two different things. The gift certificate will give you instructions on how to redeem it. And the issue that I have with the gift certificates is that if you are, let's say you get the gift certificate and you want to pay off your final payment, and you wait until 2 days before your final payment, they won't apply it because it takes up to a week for the gift certificate to be applied. So the only way the gift certificates work and work well is if you are, paying well before the final payment date, because they could take 7 days to apply. So I don't accept gift certificates anymore. Gift cards are different than the gift certificates. Now I will accept a gift certificate if it is way before final payment. But if someone comes and say, hey, I want to pay off my cruise, can I get a gift certificate? No, because it's going to take 7 days. Your booking's going to cancel. So the process isn't hard, but it's just easier enough to get a gift card. Get a gift card, not the gift certificate. But the issue is that some places you buy them from, you don't know that it's a gift certificate until you get it. I can tell you for a fact, if you get a Royal Caribbean, if you use like PayPal gift cards, that is definitely going to be a gift certificate, not a gift card. And I don't know why that is. Colin, welcome in, says that's awesome. Thank you. We're going to book our Legend of the Seas Italy cruise on board Harmony this August for our honeymoon. Nice. Hope you guys have a great time and congratulations. Welcome in, Sig the Solo Cruiser. Appreciate you being here. And guys, if you're looking for MSC, I think you released it to everyone. Sig the Solo Cruiser just released MSC Yacht Club last night. If you're curious to check out MSC Yacht Club. Red Afro says, thank you so much. Absolutely. Welcome in, Mickey's Adventures. Appreciate you being here. And we have 112 people here and only 75 likes. So if you guys wouldn't mind getting those likes up for me. But I have about 10 more minutes. So if you have any last minute cruise questions or even content creation or travel agent questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. Like I said, this is a very busy week because we have a group of 90 people joining us on board Carnival Conquest. So I'm heading out Thursday, and I'm actually doing a back-to-back on Carnival Conquest, going to Celebration Key. So just finished bagging up our t-shirts and all that, getting that stuff in a suitcase. And, of course, I got the travel agency and all this and that to deal with. So very busy time. Yes, thank you so much, Mickey. Says, match the thumbs up with the number of participants in the chat. That would be awesome. Guys, it just tells YouTube that you guys are engaged and that you like this live stream, and it pushes it out to more people. Big Murph, welcome in, says, do you know if the price adjustment works even if you bid up to a higher room? And now the rate for the new cabin category you upgraded to is lower than what you paid. For the most part, the bids are not accepted until after final payment. I don't think I've ever known of, but I could be wrong, I don't think I've ever known of a bid being accepted before final payment, because they really want to see if they can get those cabins full. A lot of times your bid's not confirmed until, a month before the sailing. Sometimes it depends on the cruise line, because some cruise lines, they might do it sooner. But no, the answer to your question is, let's say you were in an ocean view cabin and you upgraded to a balcony cabin. On like the booking system, and the travel agents can see this, you'll see what your price category is and then your actual cabin category is. So like when we go into adjust pricing, because we can do the adjustments on our own, it's going to match whatever your price category is, not your cabin category. So if you were booked, let me make sure I'm understanding your question right. Now the rate for the new cabin category upgrade is lower than what you paid. Paid for the bid. Yes, in that case you can. So let's say you upgrade to a balcony and you paid $1,200 for the balcony total with your upgrade, and then before final payment you notice that it's $1,100. Yes, you can have that adjusted. But for the most part, most cruise lines aren't accepting your bid until after final payment. They want to get as much money as they can. So they try to wait, and a lot of times they won't even upgrade you. Like they might send you the upgrade, but they may not, like even Royal, they'll say you may not find out till you get on board the ship, because what they do is they try to see if anybody last minute is going to book at that higher price before they do the upgrade, because they're going to make more money off of you not upgrading and somebody just booking outright than if they accepted your upgrade, if that makes sense. Leanne Travel, what are your thoughts on Carnival Celebration? It's one of our favorite Carnival ships. So we have a group cruise next July 5th through the 12th. going to Celebration Key, Roatan, I think, Casamaya. I don't remember. But no, it's Nassau Celebration Key. It's 4 ports. I can't remember. But yeah, Carnival Celebration is one of our faves. Mrs. Travels a Lot says going Carnival Conquest August 22nd. Can't wait. Nice. DeAndre, welcome in. Thank you so much. It's happy belated birthday. And congratulations to you on hitting 1,000 followers over on TikTok. I saw that this morning. Congratulations. Can't wait to see your information while you're on Conquest. Yeah, actually, I've been on Conquest 3 times already. So there's plenty of vlogs already out there. I am not vlogging the first sailing of Carnival Conquest. I'm going to use that to just get vertical content because I've been on Conquest 3 times. There's no reason for me to vlog it again. It probably hasn't changed much. So I'm going to use that 3-day sailing to vlog Celebration Key. That's the whole reason I'm on that sailing, is to get Celebration Key content. I'm actually going to be in Celebration Key 3 times within a week or within a week and a half. So I'm on board Celebration Key for Carnival Conquest July 18th. I'm on board Celebration Key. I'm going to Celebration Key on board Carnival Conquest July 21st. And then I'm doing a kind of somewhat of a back-to-back on Carnival Glory for a Meet and Eyes group cruise the 28th, I think it is. So yes. So yeah, I already have Carnival Conquest stuff out there, and I probably won't do much else with Carnival Conquest. Let's see here. Dennis says, I thought RCL did not offer until after final payment. Yeah, for the most part. I honestly can't think of a cruise line that does it before. That would defeat the purpose if they did it beforehand. But like I said, sometimes there's things that happen that I don't know about. Joan says, do you monitor price adjustments for your clients? To an extent. And this is why, because we have like 3,000 cruise clients. There's no way that we can monitor pricing. When I first started my travel agency almost 4 years ago, I literally every week I went into every booking and I looked at pricing. It's just, there's no system to monitor pricing. So you have to manually do it. And I just physically can't do it for 3,000 clients. And so what I do is, if I, like my clients that are sailing within like the next 6 months, I kind of keep a closer eye. But what I do is anytime a payment is processed, I check pricing, final payment, I check pricing. And then anytime I have some clients that will literally email me every week. If they send a message, say, hey, I think my pricing went down, I check it immediately. All right, sorry. Sorry, I don't know why I keep freezing. There's something weird going on. I think it's that internet extender. We're going to have to get rid of it. Ron might have to go back to the basement because I can't. Let's see here. So what was the question? Do I do price monitoring? Yes. So yes, but I don't do price monitoring every day. There's no way physically possible I could do that. But again, anytime a client runs a payment, anytime there's final payment due, I check pricing. Anytime that there's like a drastic promotion, a lot of times promotions, and this is the thing, a lot of times promotions are out there and they'll say it expires on this date. It's not true. And then my clients tend to book well in advance. So they're usually getting the best rate immediately. And pricing just tends to increase over time. So yeah, so I do, but I don't do it like every day. No, there's just no way to do that. But I do have some clients that stay on top of it and they message me and immediately I go in and I adjust it. But honestly, price adjustments are very rare these days. Price drops just don't happen as much as they used to. Let's see here. Thank you so much, Mrs. Travels a Lot. We are almost, we're on the 12th. Well, happy belated birthday to you. Tracy says, hi, RacQuelle. How do you feel about the new Carnival bands? I feel like I have to get on the ship to really give you my impression of it. I don't personally, and I've kind of avoided this because I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there. But I can't tell you what that misinformation is until I'm actually on board to experience it. But from what I'm seeing, a lot of what people are talking about is not accurate. Carnival has updated and made some changes to certain things. I personally don't. I felt like I had a bigger issue with the whole VIFP program changing than the bands. I feel like the bands are being sensationalized in social media. And I don't, because as a travel advisor, like we haven't been updated on all of these said changes. If you look on social media, you'll also see people that are currently cruising that'll say, yeah, you guys said they banned hip hop music. Here we are playing hip hop music. Here we are with boots on the ground. Here we are with this. I do think that they are definitely cutting back on the people that are on board fighting, the people that are on board, with drugs, things like that. So they are smuggling on alcohol, which I think they should. But it's hard for me to say until I get on board to see, okay, has it really changed? Like what's been put in place that has everyone in an uproar. So I will have a perspective after I sail because I'll be on 3 Carnival sailings back to back. Welcome in, Cruising with Calandra. I appreciate you being here. It says, have you ever done the Disney Travel Agent Appreciation Cruises? I tried to get mine while it was still posted and they said it wasn't available. Yes, I have, and there's some tips and tricks for doing that. So if you guys are watching and you're a travel agent, Disney does release every Wednesday at 5 p.m. I know this information. They release travel agent appreciation rates. Now, what you need to know is they sell out quickly. So they have they have travel agent appreciation rates and they have travel agent space available rates. The travel agent appreciation rates are usually the lowest rates and they are amazing rates, but they go really fast. And honestly, I'm surprised that they still have some for the summer because normally they don't offer them in the summer. But yeah, so what you need to do is on Wednesday at 5 p.m., you need to call. The online PDF that they upload to the system, they don't upload that until Thursday or Friday. But the rates are released for the agents to book them on Wednesday at 5 p.m. So good luck. What's today? Monday. So yeah, call Wednesday and ask them what do they have on the travel agent appreciation rate. Sometimes wait till like 5:30 because they get them right at 5. But sometimes I've called in right at 5 and it hasn't cleared their system yet. But that's when they get it on the phone lines and they can book you before it's even released. So if you wait until it's actually published, it's probably going to be sold out. And they only have so many slots for the travel agent appreciation rates. So you have to book those quickly. So Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Patricia says, are we able to get the travel insurance for Allianz through your site? You are. If you go to MajorAdventuresTravel.com, Allianz is under our tab that says book on your own. You can just go there, price out, add in any non-refundable portions of your travel, and you can kind of compare the different policies that they have there, and you can purchase it right there. Welcome in, Lucina. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Patricia says, hi, RacQuelle. For the Carnival Celebration group cruise, are we going to stay at the pre-cruise hotel together as a group? I may book solo so I don't miss out. We will have a group cruise. We will have a group hotel. You don't have to stay there. I mean, everyone can do their own thing, but we will be offering a hotel. We're just to the point now that cruise is next year, and we have 3 group cruises this year. So I'm really trying to knock those out before I really start getting all of that for next year out. But just know that probably around October-ish, you'll start getting more information about that because right now we have our group cruise this week, Carnival Conquest. Next month, we have our Greece group cruise, which that's a whole nother can of worms. And then we have our December MSC World America group cruise. So those come first. The cruises for next year, we will start rolling out information over time. But honestly, at this point, it's kind of early to even book a hotel. You're not going to get the best rate booking a hotel now. So that's why you haven't got information on that. But yes, we will have a group hotel. Let's see here. Leanne says some of the Carnival Cruise Line rules are on a lot of cruise lines, so it's more about rules being enforced. Exactly. That's really what it is. They just haven't been enforcing the rules, and now they are. So Tracy says, thank you so much for the help and advice. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, it looks like we are. Let me make sure there's no last minute questions. And we have 97 likes and 109 watching. I wonder if we can get to 100 before I end. So upcoming, let's see, Carnival Conquest. Carnival Conquest July 18th, Carnival Conquest July 21st, Carnival Glory July 28th, and then August, Star of the Seas Media Sailing August 13th. Then I have a 2-week break, not even 2 weeks, a week and a half, and then we head to Greece August 27th through September 6th for our group cruise. We have about 45 people or so joining us in Greece, so we're really excited for that. And then once I come back from Greece, there's probably 9 other cruises, I think, and I'm not announcing those. I actually have a couple of new cruise lines that I'm going to be trying out later on this year. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And if you aren't following us on TikTok, I've been posting on TikTok. I'm trying to ramp that up a little bit. Follow us over on TikTok. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing to our channel. I greatly appreciate it. Now, I will not be live on next Monday because we will be boarding with actually, I'll be doing a back-to-back. So I'll be on board Carnival Conquest already, but because we have a group, I won't be able to go live at 2 p.m. But the following Monday, no, I won't be able to go live then either. So 3 Mondays away, we'll have another Monday Midday Cruise Q&A, so stay tuned for that. Let me see. Patricia says, I love how you're creating beautiful memories for your family. They have a wonderful travel life. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We just want them to, experience and do as much as they can. Yeah, that's all we want. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. 3:30, there's going to be a video on our channel. Please be sure to watch that. That's our Skagway vlog, and I'm hoping to push out the rest of the Alaska series this week. So we'll see if I can get it all done with everything that's going on. But appreciate you guys popping in. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and I will see you guys 3 Mondays from now. But I probably will go live at some point during our group cruise and during Carnival Conquest. So stay tuned because we'll be at Celebration Key. So I will be going live at some point. All right, guys, I will see you later. Thanks for being here.